Welcome to the Quietly Thriving Show, where my mission is to inspire you to rip off that fake extrovert mask that, let's be honest, most of us introverts learn to wear from a really early age, right? So that you can finally come home to yourself and quietly thrive unapologetically. Hello there. My name is Vicky Regina, and I'm a certified professional coach. And I'm so excited to create a space for introverts to explore what makes them phenomenal because they're introverted. Because I believe our superpower is rooted in our introverted nature. And I want to help you find that so you can finally experience new levels of confidence and trust in yourself. So, welcome to the Quietly Thriving Show, where my mission is to inspire you to rip off that fake extrovert mask that, let's be honest, most of us introverts learn to wear from a really early age, right? So that you can finally come home to yourself and quietly thrive unapologetically. So, in today's inaugural show, I'm going to share a little bit about me, why I feel so passionate about introverts, and why I believe being introverted is the best gift ever. I'm also going to share a few little secrets about why I believe introverts are the souls of our society. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I call the introvert way, and finally, I'll wrap things up with sharing a little bit about what you can expect from the Quietly Thriving show going forward. All right. Okay, so a little bit about me. So I am a certified coach through the IPEC Coaching School, which is an ICF accredited program. And I got my certification back in 2016. And for about 5 years, I ran my coaching practice alongside my corporate day job. But in the fall of 2021, I was laid off after spending over two decades in corporate as a software product manager. So I decided that this was just a gift from the universe and it was time to go all in on my coaching practice. Okay, so what else? Well, I'm originally from the Atlanta area, but I moved to Connecticut after college. I graduated from Georgia Tech with a business degree, and I've lived here in Connecticut now for 24 years, and I absolutely love living in New England. Now, as a coach, I specialize in mindset and belief work since how we think controls literally everything we do. And a lot of our thoughts are one, just habits, but two, they're rooted in a lot of subconscious programming and societal conditioning. And all of that, how the mind works, how impactful our thoughts are in shaping our reality, it just all fascinates me. So, my coaching practice is targeted towards introverted women who are tired of wearing what I call the fake extrovert mask. And again, if you're an introvert, you probably know what I'm talking about, right? So, yeah, I work with these women to help them to remove that mask, to align with their superpowers, and really to fall in love with who they are as is. Because when that happens, that is when I like to say, you quietly thrive unapologetically. So that whole process, it requires a lot of mindset and belief work. Now, another facet of what I do is also just educating on introversion, and that's both to extroverts and introverts, since due to all of that extrovert biased conditioning, a lot of introverts don't even fully understand what it means to be introverted, which is why they live behind the shadows of it. So I'm very passionate about making the world more inclusive for introverts. So you might be wondering, well, why do I work with just introverts, right? And that's a great question. I get asked that a lot, and that's because I'm a hardcore introvert. So I know the struggle growing up in our very extrovert dominated, celebrated world is not easy, and it's not always fun, right? I remember spending probably the first, like, I don't know, honestly, 30 years of my life thinking there was something wrong with me, or that I needed to pretend to be something that I wasn't because I was embarrassed to say, hey, you know what? I don't really enjoy going out every Friday and Saturday night and closing down the bars or hanging out at someone's party until dawn. I'd rather read a good book at home and get a good night's sleep. That's not really cool when you're in college or in your 20s, right? So it wasn't until my 30s that I started to accept my quieter nature. I stopped trying to fight it and I stopped pretending, well, maybe not in every area of my life, but definitely on the social side of things, because I was tired of trying to be something that I wasn't. And from there, it was just an evolution. I like to think of it as an unraveling all of that conditioning and the BS around how I was supposed to show up to be successful in life because I felt anything but successful if it meant that I had to be exhausted and drained and put that extrovert mask on all the time. So anyway, as I traveled through that process, my confidence, my trust in myself grew, and I started to transform my life by transforming my relationship with my introversion. And now it's what I love most about myself. I like to say that I'm a proud introvert because I love it so much. And because of that, it's influenced my business because I know so many introverts don't see themselves in this way. And I know that I can help them change their lives by opening up to an entirely new perspective on how they see themselves, their lives, and what's possible for them. So, with that in mind, here's why I believe introverts are the souls of our society. So, when I think of the soul of something, I think of it as the emotional, the energetic, the heart of whatever it is, a person, a piece of art, whatever. As introverts, we're introspective. We're the thinkers. We observe and we take in all the details, right? We think before we speak. So when we do contribute, it has depth and meaning and value to it. We are the deep connectors with people. We don't like small talk, right? Because that's just kind of meaningless. We want to go deeper. We're great listeners. So we take in all that's happening around us, we process it deeply, we connect the dots, and then we share our wise perspective when it's warranted. So I believe we're the heart of our society. And this is not a knock on extroverts at all. This is not a, hey, we're better than they are, or anything like that. The world needs both extroverts and introverts. But if we just allow for only one ideal, the extrovert ideal, which, hey, let's be honest, that's how things are oriented in our society, right? I believe we cut off the soul of our society. And this is why I do the work that I do. It's why I'm so passionate about teaching introverts and what makes them so amazing, because the more introverts that free themselves from this tangled web of conditioning that has them wanting to pretend to be something that they're not, which just means they're existing as a shadow of themselves. The more people that free themselves from this, the better our society is going to function. And the happier you're going to be because you're going to be able to quietly thrive unapologetically. Now, fair warning, I say that a lot, quietly thrive unapologetically, because that is my mission. My mission is for all introverts to quietly thrive without having to apologize for it. So, the introvert way is what I call my framework for moving introverts from feeling at a disadvantage and resisting their strengths and really who they are, and moving them to not only fully accept and embrace their introverted nature, but to fall in love with who they are as is, and to finally embody who they're here to be. That's when I say that you come home to yourself. And this isn't magic. None of this is magic. It's just being brave enough to try things differently, to find your way of doing things. That's it. Because if you're an introvert, you're not limited because you're an introvert. If you feel limited, it's because of the misguided conditioning that you've experienced throughout your life. But that can be undone. So let me wrap this up and share what you can expect from the Quietly Thriving show. So for now, I'm going to share a new episode every other Tuesday. I may at some point bump that up to weekly, but for now, I'm just going to start off with bi-weekly episodes. And these are going to be part educational, they're going to be part inspirational. So my goal is to give you a breakthrough on how you see and understand introversion so that it can help you to shift your perspective and to fall in love with your introverted self. But I do also plan to give you some actionable tools and tips and tricks that you can use in your life to start experiencing things differently, okay? So if you don't want to miss a thing, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you have a fellow introvert in your life that you know needs these messages, then go ahead and share this show with them. As I like to say, spread the introvert love. And all right. And if you also want to find me outside of this show, then you can always find me on my website, vickyregina.com, or I'm usually active on Instagram, so you can find me at I am Vicky Regina. And also, you can join my free Quietly Thriving Society, which is my weekly email community. So I'll drop the link for that below. All right. So that's all I've got for you today. And I hope to see you in the next show.